Welcome back to Small Caps, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kerry Stevenson, and today I'm talking with Riccardo Canevari. He is the Managing Director and CEO of Radiopharm Theranostics. I got that in one, Theranostics. He joins me from New York. Now, Radiopharm, ASX code is RAD. They only listed in November 2021, and they've got some very interesting assets that they've picked up from top-class places around the world, such as Sloan Kettering in New York, University of Technology in Munich, Sloan Kettering and Imperial College London. So some really interesting developments with the company. And as I just said, only listed in November 21. So I wanted to bring it to the attention of our audience because I think there's some important developments which are going. So Riccardo, thanks for joining me on Small Caps all the way from New York today. And welcome to us. Could you please give us a little bit of a brief background of who are Radiopharm Theranostics?
Sure. Thank you, Kerry, for having me. So Radiopharm Theranostics is a startup biotech. As you said, it's been created in mid-2021. And our core business is extremely specific. We are focusing on one important and growing segment in oncology that is called radiopharmaceutical therapy. So this is extremely interesting. The molecule, some of the molecule has proven already important clinical results, being approved by FDA, and we decided to enter this sector because it's really interesting for patients and for us as we play in this very interesting area.
Riccardo, for those of us that are not in the biotech, the pharmaceutical area, what exactly does radiopharmaceuticals mean?
Absolutely. So the normal approach in oncology that probably everybody is aware, you have different options like surgery, where you try to remove the tumor, chemotherapy that works well, but unfortunately have a side effect. And there are more modern technology like targeted therapy, cell and gene therapy, or CAR-T. Now, there is one new and emerging sector called radiopharmaceutical. And what we do, we have very specific and targeted molecule, and we are able to link this molecule with a radioisotope. So very low level of radiation that goes selectively to the tumor cells without affecting the surrounding healthy tissues.
So that's very different from what has been done in oncology. What I want to know is how long has this particular area, the sort of using the radioisotopes, how long has this been in development?
Well, radiation has been used for decades in oncology, but has been mainly external radiation. This laser therapy that goes to the tumor, but of course, to get to the tumor cell is need to cross the tissue and the healthy cell in the middle. What we are doing is different, and it started about 10 years ago when there was some improvement in the ability to have targeted molecule, have like a chain. At the end of the chain, there is an isotope, and the molecule is going when the tumor cell are and delivering this high energy coming from the radioisotope. The high energy is able to disrupt the DNA of the cancer cell and kill the tumor cells.
How many companies are in this sector, number one? Number two, how big is this particular market, do you think?
The pioneer in this sector is Novartis. By the way, the company where I worked for more than 20 years, and I had the opportunity to learn and to better understand how radiopharmaceutical work. So beyond the Novartis, there are other companies like Bayer. AstraZeneca is looking at the space, but mainly we are talking about probably no more than 10 companies, public company, listed either on the NASDAQ or on the ASX.
Riccardo, you just said a moment ago that you'd spent 20 years with Novartis. Now, Novartis is a massive company, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, it's about circa 200 billion. Riccardo's with a company worth around 58 million at the moment. Riccardo, what was the attraction of leaving Novartis after 20 years and coming in as the MD and CEO of Radiopharm Theranostics?
Well, you said it's not easy to leave a company of 100,000 employee and join a company of 3. But the excitement is coming exactly from this opportunity, the opportunity to build a team, the opportunity to build a pipeline of the company, and the opportunity to, try to share and to develop in this company all the learnings that I was lucky to have in Novartis, and in particular when I was Chief Commercial Officer of the Radiopharmaceutical division of Novartis. I really had the opportunity to see development, R&D, market access, and commercial of radiopharmaceutical, and being able to bring 2 of them to FDA approval.
So how did Radiopharm get its hands? Let's talk about the drugs you got, because I said in the introduction that you've got some opportunities from Sloan Kettering, from Imperial College London, and also Tech University of Munich. So here's Radiopharm, here's these very well-respected organizations. Where's the connection and why? Or how did they come together?
Well, the opportunity comes from leveraging also the experience and expertise of our chairman, Paul Hopper. We had the opportunity to work together and really go to the tech transfer offices of these top university, speak with the right scientists, with the right people. We assess probably more than 30 molecules before deciding the first 4 products that should be part of our pipeline. So we really look at due diligence. We did a deep dive and we select what we believe are top molecules from top institutions.
So how many products? Because I want to look at, I guess, the risk diversification, because will all of them get through all clinical trials, etc.? I don't know. So could you just break it down for us? Because our audience will be looking for where you're at with the stage of these drugs and where the inflection points are going forward. So give us a bit of a summary as to what you're working on right now.
Yeah, so we were able to include in our pipeline 4 platforms at the IPO. But then when we raised money, we had the opportunity to add additional 5 molecules to the portfolio. So now we have 9 molecules, all different, one from each other, all very selective to different tumor types. So we have molecule for breast cancer or for brain cancer. We have molecule for prostate. We have molecule for non-small cell lung cancer. So we had the opportunity for each molecule to go to a specific tumor type, to add a radio isotope, and to develop a clinical trial to test safety and efficacy of our proposal. The objective, of course, is to help patients living with oncological disease, to try to bring better solution to our oncologists that, of course, they do always their best, to improve and prolong patient lives. And we are trying to play our role here.
Where, out of those 9 molecules, because we know that you've got to go through clinical trials and it does take a while, I'm thinking, I guess, from our audience point of view, from looking at the company and seeing where the next steps are, I'm talking to you in April 2023. You listed in 21. talk to us about what the news flow will be for the rest of 2023. What are you working on, and where do you think those milestones, in other words, the growth of the company is going to come from?
We are working on a lot of projects at the moment. We expect the next months to really be full of activity, but also of news and information and milestone that we are doing our best to achieve. We have one program, for example, that already reported positive phase 2 data, and now we are in discussion with the FDA to start a pivotal trial. We have molecule that has been already approved by FDA to start phase 1, and we plan to start in a month or 2. And all the rest of the molecule are entering clinical stage in 6 to 12 months. So if you look at the next 3 to 15 months, a lot is happening, and almost every quarter we are going to have significant update and significant news. All very exciting time. All the team is working very hard to make this happen, but it's also an exciting opportunity when you move from preclinical and testing the animal model to see if you have any sign of potential efficacy. When you go to the clinics and you can really start to make the difference for patients. So it's an exciting time ahead.
With radiopharmaceuticals, is this going to be I'm thinking market size, because this is new, isn't it? I think you said just before, this is a new way of treating some of the challenges such as breast cancer, prostate, et cetera. How new is it? How big could this be? And does it then turn around? Because I've got personal experience with friends that have had massive challenge, and I've also seen, Riccardo, how devastating some of the current treatments are in terms of how unwell people get. The question I have for you, is this radiopharmaceutical going to change the way we treat patients going forward? And if it does, that means, I think, this is a massive market.
Well, first of all, we need to say we hope so. We need to respect science and to give science the opportunity to prove itself. We don't want to give false hope to patients that, of course, are living in difficult situation. But when we speak with the expert, when we speak with scientists and with experts in the sector, they all believe that this is going to be one of the fastest growing sector in oncology. Today is about, if we talk about the therapeutic radiopharmaceutical, we are talking about a market of a couple of billion, and is expecting to be probably 30 or 40 billion in less than 10 years from now. So this is a massive growth ahead, and the reason that there are expectations that this new radiopharmaceutical therapy can be very selective in addressing the cancer cell without involving the healthy tissue. And this means better efficacy with more limited side effect. It's like to try to make a much better chemotherapy, more effective with less side effect. And of course, every molecule is different. We need to prove and test one by one, but this is the overarching objective.
You said before 9 molecules within the Radiopharm Theranostics group at the moment. How far down the track do you go before you either say, this one's, we'll keep going, keep funding, keep spending money on this one, or we'll let this one go, and do you bring something else in? I'm just wondering what the process is.
We have done a lot with the initial due diligence, so we decided to in-license only molecules that already have very strong preclinical evidence, and this is increasing the probability of success. So the 9 molecules that we have is because we really believe that they can, of course, all make it to phase 1. At the end of phase 1, we will assess safety, and we will start phase 2 to assess efficacy. For the time being, we are focused on those. I think we have enough in our portfolio to test the different mechanism of action in different disease areas. And we have a lot of hope that some of those are really unique and can make the difference.
Time framing around this one as well, Riccardo. Phase 1, phase 2, then you go to phase 3, is that correct?
That's correct. And after phase 3, if you have approval by FDA or local authorities, you start commercialization.
So there's a bit of a time frame. What would you say to people right now? Like I said at the beginning, Radiopharm listed in November 21. The company was only started in the middle of 2021. I'm talking to you in April 23. It appears to me that you've got a lot further than some other companies out there in terms of getting molecules, getting them into clinical studies. Why have you been able to move forward a little bit? It feels to me a little bit quicker than others.
Well, you know, you always want to do more and achieve more than what you have done. But I really have to thank my team because they are very experienced. They are really applying their entire, skills and previous expertise in what they are doing. And we are pleased in the progresses. We are pleased in the speed. We are, as a biotech, we are fast in the decision making. We are fast in deciding one investment versus another. And I have to say that, having a molecule that already reported phase 2A result and having already an IND approval by FDA is already two important achievement for such a young company. And we expect another IND approval around July, August, and ethics committee approval in Australia in between Q2 and Q3 to start a phase 1 in collaboration with Genesis Care in patients with non-small cell lung cancer here in Australia. So yeah, we have been busy and we will continue to be busy in the next quarter.
Riccardo, talk to us about challenges. Have you got challenges as you go forward with this one? It's a new area, newish. And I want to ask you about challenges, but also about funding.
Well, always challenges, when you are in such an important sector like oncologies, when you propose a clinical trial in one specific area. Of course, the center has many opportunity to test in completely different areas. There is an emerging CAR-T area, cell and gene therapy. There are, new cancer vaccines. So you are in the middle of one of the biggest innovation in oncology. So you need to explain well why this mechanism of action and this approach should be tested, because we are talking about testing in patient. So we always want to be sure that is not an experiment, but is something that has some potential implication in efficacy and bringing something new to, the many opportunities that are available for our oncologists. So the challenges are being noticed, being visible, and able to explain why we should have a chance to test these new approaches. And when we explain properly, we show in what segment we are, the past success that other molecule achieved. We really see extremely high interest. So it's just a question of time when you are new to describe well why this should be done. But we are making a strong progress, so I'm happy.
All right, I've just noticed we're running out of time, Riccardo. So I did say to you, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to pull it all together, if you like, and give us 3 reasons. Give our audience 3 reasons why ASX code RAD, they should be sitting up and taking notice of you right now.
Well, I would say, one, we are in one of the fastest growing sector in oncology. This new approach, radiopharmaceutical, is going to do the difference. And that's why many analysts are expecting this market to grow so fast. The second reason, our molecules are coming from top university like Imperial College of London, Memorial Sloan Kettering, UCLA, MD Anderson. So top quality molecule from top quality institution give us a different edge in our pipeline. Okay. And the third, I would say that in the next 6 months, we are really excited because there are so many news that we can bring to the market, we can share with investors, as we have important inflection points just ahead of us. So those are my 3 reasons, and I hope you can be as excited as I am about the future of Radiopharm Theranostics.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. And Riccardo, I really appreciate you coming on. It's a little bit late over there in New York, so I do appreciate your time. As we said right at the start, Riccardo spent 20 years with Novartis, a big company. He's pretty excited about what Radiopharm are doing with these 9 molecules, which have come from top quality institutions. Lots of news coming out for the rest of 2023. So I'm sure we'll have Riccardo back on in the small caps updates in the near future. But for now, thanks so much for joining me on Small Caps.
Thanks a lot, Kerry. Thank you very much.